I'm Reginald Gickington, and you can call me Reggie. And today I'll be continuing a painting journey through the miniatures of Senjutsu by Stone Sword Games. We're going to be doing an incredibly unique character today, the Sailor. While other combatants in Senjutsu wield their katanas with a skillful and deadly grace, the Sailor dares to ask, "What if I used a gun?" His devastating and powerful firearm truly reshapes the game and makes him play completely differently to all the other characters. So let's get started. Starting from a black prime, I'm going to be using a lot of browns. Each character I've painted so far reflects a different color. Wacko Pirate is red, Student is orange, Ashigaru is green, etc. In this case, I'm going to make Sailor our brown, and we're starting with Steel Legion drab all over his pants and hat. I experiment with using it on his sleeves, but ultimately decide against it shortly, as you'll see. We're using charred brown and Rakarth flesh now. Charred brown goes on his boots, his glove, and his jacket, while Rakarth flesh is going on the sleeves and his cape. For the skin and the hair, the sailor isn't actually meant to be Japanese, but rather he's inspired by the English sailor William Adams, one of the first Englishmen to sail to Japan, and who would inspire the character of John Blackthorne in the wildly successful Shogun. While I'm not going to be painting him as William Adams necessarily, I mentioned during the Yasuke episode that I like my characters to be more generic and archetypical, this miniature is visibly not Japanese, so I want to accentuate certain features of him. We're going to do his skin with Cadian flesh tone instead of Bugman's glow or tan, so that he seems extra pale in comparison to the other characters, and we're doing his hair with buff to give it a blonde tone. Next up is going to be his weapon and his bandoliers. For the weapons, we've already done the wood of the pistol in charred brown, but the barrel and his sword are going to be given an all-over surcoat silver. Then, for the bandoliers, we're using Steel Legion drab before going back to detail the belt buckles and knives with surcoat silver. For our washes, we're going to do the following. All over with dark brown, we're using a coat of wildwood. On the sword and gun, we're using black wash, and then on the skin, the bandoliers, the pants, and the sleeves, we're using a brown wash, or in my case, a mix of black and flesh wash. Our sailor should look much more grimy now, but he's far from done. We're highlighting the jacket, boots, and glove using charred brown, and also the pants and hat with Steel Legion drab. His clothes have a lot of very defined wrinkles on them, so these are great to use for placing your highlights, but it's also important to think about what it is you're highlighting. For example, in the case of his pants, they tend to be thinnest at the knee, where the material bends and stretches the most. If you have a pair of well-worn jeans, you can probably see the knees are a lighter blue than the rest of them. So this naturally should be where a highlight is placed due to the general wear and tear. We're going to touch up his skin and his shirt next. For the skin, we're using Cadian flesh tone as a highlight, like always. For the shirt and cape, we're doing the same routine we just did with the jacket and pants, a highlight of Rakarth flesh on the creases and folds. I mentioned a while ago that it's important to practice your freehanding whenever you get an opportunity, and that rule still holds true. We're going to be freehanding a design on the cape now, for which I use Flesh Terror's red, even though what you're looking at right now on screen is corn red. I decided contrast paint would be better to maintain the darkness in the recesses and the highlights on the raised ridges. I'm just going to draw a series of horizontal bands on his cape, as a splash of color. Then I'm doing his eyes using Ghost Gray and Doom Death Black. And now we just need to base him. Mechanica Standard Gray and Black Wash for the flagstones, and then I'm using Macragge Blue for the directional arrow. That's the sailor. I love the depth and richness of browns we managed to achieve on him. Each item of clothing feels unique but cohesive, and he reads visually as the de facto brown character without feeling boring, and the cape adds a pop of color that gives him a really big boost. Of course, that's just one way of painting him. Feel free to try your own color schemes instead. I'd love to see them. Be sure to tag me on Instagram @ReggieGick so I can take a peek. Links to my affiliated socials can be found in the description. Feel free to subscribe or like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon with another painting tutorial.